Welcome to the Harmony at Home podcast. I'm Lauren. This is Kaylee.
Hi.
And today we are joined by Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Welcome back. For those of you who missed the first episode, Rachel Maroudas is a pediatric speech therapist, a mom of two, and someone who's redefining what it means to support your children from the inside out. Rachel's not here to throw a rule book at us. She's here with practical, family-oriented, centered strategies that support the whole child. Communication, behavior, emotional regulation, all rooted in connection. She gets it because she's living it. In this episode, we are talking about something that we don't often talk enough about, and that is perspective. How we see our children, how we see ourselves. This determines how we experience our motherhood. So in this episode, we're going to talk about why our expectations might be creating more stress than our children's behavior, the difference between tantrums and meltdowns, yes, there is one, what it really means to give up everything for our kids and how to find yourself again. And the surprising impact of our digital diaries, how what we post today becomes our child's emotional legacy tomorrow. Again, it's not about doing it perfectly, it's about doing it consciously. And I promise that by the end of this episode, you're going to see your child, yourself, your entire family in a whole new way. So let's get into it. Hi, Rachel.
That was such a great introduction, Lauren. Thank you. Sometimes when you're saying this stuff, I'm like, oh gosh, no, not really.
It's true. I mean, for anyone.
We do think very highly of you.
We do.
It's evident.
High respect. And
Thank you for coming back.
Yes, thank you. And I think for everyone who watched the first episode, they feel the same way.
For sure.
They want more.
I hope so.
So I know we were throwing around ideas, like what we were going to talk about in this session today. And obviously you brought up the idea of perspective. And I think it is just such a big one because we don't pay enough attention to it. So maybe if you can talk us through your decision to chat about perspective, why it matters.
I remember I sent you a voice note because we had discussed that we would do another podcast and we hadn't quite thought about what we were going to talk about. And I think I just had this moment where I was like, it's all so connected to how we view things, whether it is how we view our children, whether it is how we view our lives, whether it is how we view our relationship with our partner or our relationship with our friends, or our relationship with our own mother, how we view our childhood. All of those perspectives impact how you show up daily and how you're going to look back on this time that is, as everybody says it is, the most amazing time of your lives, because when you're 90 years old, what you're going to wish for is another day of being a mom to young kids.
Exactly.
And how really perspective is going to get you through so much as well. So I just felt there's this negative perspective that kind of looms over motherhood and womanhood and young children, and how I really feel that there needs to be a shift in that. And the more of us that can get into that shift, the better it'll be for a whole generation of kids, I think.
Yeah. Can you maybe talk us through something personal that's happened in your life with your two girls where you had to change your perspective?
Well, just a few weeks ago, Kelly was having a bit of a hard time, and she was tired, she was emotional, and I could have easily just put it all on her. I know she's tired, I know she's emotional, and moved along and just left it as a her problem. But when you shift it around, what could I do to support her, or what am I doing that's not supporting her enough? Are we too busy? Is it too overwhelming for her? Are we not giving her enough time? Although we're always together, being together and alone is so different to being together with a whole bunch of other people, because you're not really giving them that full on attention. You're chatting to your friend and you're busy doing other things. So I had to look at myself, and although I really try daily to be really present, small little things that you can change daily. And I implemented that for a week, and it was dealing with a different child. Yes, she went from end of term to being on holiday, so she was getting more rest. but really like a shift in my perspective of what I'm doing and being accountable for how I'm showing up, even though I thought there was nothing wrong with the way I was showing up.
Yeah.
Whenever I always say, whenever there's like something little or something that's bugging you with your child, look at what you're doing to create that response. Yeah. It can 10 to 1 be drawn back to you as a parent and something that you can change or you can shift or you can do differently. And I know that like sounds like so much pressure on the parent, but it is. That's, you know, you have so much more control over your emotions, over regulating yourself, over how your day looks, how your week looks, how you're managing time. You're the one that's in control. They don't have much control over that. So how you can shift things, you know, plays a big role.
Yeah, but I don't think enough adults really care to take accountability in moments like that. Excuse me. Because it's always the case of like, oh, well, they're the child, I'm the adult. Obviously, I've got my shit together, basically. It must be just all on them. Like you say, must be tired. Oh, it's fine. You know, it's nearly bedtime. But not enough adults go, okay, let me look at what I'm doing to possibly be the cause of this. I'm 100% to blame for a lot of that. I do that a lot.
That's raw. Yeah. Like when we have to look inwards. It's tough.
It takes a lot of like internal strength to go, okay, maybe I'm the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there again, I don't want to say cause or problem. We got to be very careful how we word things.
Yes.
Because
we know.
Because we really don't. I mean, I didn't feel like I didn't even, when I was doing that reflection, I didn't even want, like for 1 minute, I didn't feel bad. You know, it's life. We all get caught up. I saw that there was a reaction and I managed the reaction to the way we'd be moving through life. And like that's so okay.
Yeah.
Like the moment, and that's when the guilt and the blame is going to come in if you allow yourself to think of it in any kind of negative way.
Like, so, oh, how could I let this happen? You know, I get it.
Why was I the problem? Like, no problem. Just change.
Yeah.
Like we just need a bit of change. We just need a bit more intentional time together. We just need a slower pace. Like we just need to shift things, maybe just for a little bit, and then we can shift things back if we need to. So I think it's also really important to approach it with like a positive outlook rather than like gosh, look what I've done now kind of thing. But
I feel like even considering your contribution to a situation with the child, that's strength.
Yeah.
That shows immense strength. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, they say that you have to have your stuff together as a mom, and you don't have to have it together, but you have to be confident in how you're choosing to raise your child. And that's hard when there's so much noise. Like there's so much noise in our generation of mothers. There's so many opinions. There's so much,
lot of judgment, which can follow you because of social media.
A lot of judgment and you perceiving other people's lives through social media. So the way you're perceiving other people's lives to be moving, you might think that that's how it's supposed to be done, but you know, you have to find the way you want to parent. You have to do it with a little bit of insight. Like there is a lot of information out there and it's available for us to use, so you have to have insight, and the more insight you have, the more confident you can be as well.
Can you help us with that? Because that's a question I get a lot as well, is that there's so much out there and I don't know
who's right,
what to follow, what to do. Any insight from your side?
I think the first thing you have to do when you're taking in a piece of information is like, how did that sit with you? Number one, like, okay, sometimes it can make you feel uncomfortable because you're feeling bad about being confronted with this information. You've perhaps not been doing it that way and you should have. So taking that aside, like, how did it sit with you? How would that feel for you to parent in that way? Like, just what's your gut feeling on it? Number one. And then if you're choosing to implement something that's very different or from what you've been doing or making a big change, you have to do some research. Like, it's really easy to do. I mean, don't just listen to one podcast like this one.
Listen to this one.
And then change your life all because of what one person said. Like, feel how it feels for you. Feel how it fits in your family. And then, like, read up about it. Like, there's the right information is out there. And if you Google it, like, what comes up the most is the right information. So you've just got to be accountable in that way as well.
Yeah.
But do you think there is a one size fits all for families? Because I mean, every family operates differently.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's why I've never made an ebook.
Why, Rachel?
I just feel I've been so and I've got in my drafts, and I'm just like, but I can't promise this is going to work for everyone. So how is that ethical?
Yeah.
It's not going to work for everyone. There are principles, I believe, that do work for everyone.
Yeah.
But even in my own home, my husband and I parent very differently.
Same.
So
I feel like it causes a bit of
It can.
confusion.
you'll find your groove though, and
Yeah.
the kids find it as well. Like, I didn't know initially if it was right per se. I can't change the way he parents. He can't change the way I parent. We have the same underlying morals and values.
And then I think that's,
But the way
that's the biggest thing, yeah.
The way we get to the end result, or the way we deal with little things along the way, is slightly different, and that's okay. We have different personalities. Your kids have to learn how to deal with different personalities eventually in any case. So I don't think there's a one size fits all within even one unit.
Or per child.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm a very different parent to Brody as I am to Blair.
Yeah.
Because they are so different.
There's that who said it now? I don't know. I can't remember, but they said you're not the same parent to your
all of your children.
Yeah, exactly.
They experience you in different ways. Yeah.
And you are different.
Yeah.
Because you show up differently. Because you have another child.
Yes.
The second time around, and you have 2 children if you go third time around. So, but I think as long as you're kind, and as long as you're fair, and as long as you're firm, I think that those 3 things. And
put that on a t-shirt, kind, fair, firm.
And
Rachel Maroudas.
And you're confident.
Yeah.
You have to show up with confidence. Your kids can sense if
you're a little wobbly. Brody knows.
He just knows. Yeah.
If I'm wishy-washy, if I'm like, oh, I don't know, he can get me just.
Yeah, Morgan's the same. She will catch that moment.
Yeah.
And she knows.
They sense it.
But we have to remember, we are not raising robots. We are raising humans. Us too. We are also,
yeah, we're growing. We're
learning.
We're learning along the way as well.
No one issued a rule book here, a guidebook, so
unless
it's messy,
Rach
it's complicated. But when we look, okay, let's just consider our children, maybe they're having a moment. And if we are viewing that moment as them being difficult, we're going to show up and respond in a certain way. If we view them as being dysregulated, we're going to enter the chat a little bit differently, right? Sure. So I think, as you say, that takes us back to perspective. So what is, but also how do you know that your perspective is real, true, the right one? Does that make sense?
Yes, I think again it comes down to confidence, and it's okay if you have moments where you're not accurate. I think most of the time you'll know as well, but it's also okay if you react out of emotion rather than out of a clear judgment.
Yeah.
And we sometimes we know what we should do, but something else comes out or something else happens. But you can show up in confidence in that as well and apologize with confidence. And in our home, sorry is not just a word, it's an action. So Callie was very little, and she's like, sorry, Mom. And she did the thing that she knew she wasn't supposed to. She apologized before. She apologized first, and then she did it. And I had to explain to her what sorry means in our home. And, I said to her, sorry is an action, because when we say sorry, we have to promise. That's a promise that we're going to try. We won't always get it right, but we're going to try not to do that again. We're going to put things in place to make sure that we don't repeat that behavior. So you can't say sorry knowing full well that you're going to do.
It puts more, think to that saying, ask for forgiveness and ask for permission.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
I'm so glad it happened, because it was such a great lesson that I hadn't thought to teach her. That stuck with us now through all the years. So
but different families will get into different scenarios where you then it's like, okay, there's a lesson here.
Yeah.
Like you don't normally think to like teach a child
No.
what that means
Exactly.
off the bat.
Exactly.
But
And now
until it
Tana's known
happens-
from the start, like, sorry is an action. When we apologize,
Yeah.
we are promising to change our actions. We're promising to try and be better,
Yeah.
which has been super cool.
And I think it's amazing that as young as your girls are, they understand that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that takes us to another point that we wanted to discuss today, and that is, you know, the development of a child and what is developmentally
Appropriate.
yes at the different stages in that, and how, you know, we were chatting beforehand about our expectations as well of our kids and expecting them to do things that are maybe not developmentally appropriate. Can you talk to us about that aspect?
I think the big thing there is impulse control, because that is the reason for a lot of our children's behaviors that we possibly could irritate us, or we don't like, or we'd find ourselves in a predicament, because it's the impulse control that's at the core of that. So that starts developing between like 3 and 5 years, but it carries on developing until you're 25 years old and your frontal lobe is fully developed.
That's our thing.
So, I mean, like that's a long time for a child to be able to learn still, and to be, and if you're also not doing much to help exercise those skills, how can you expect them just to be developing? So we have to really take into account that, like, grabbing something or pushing someone, those reactions, yes, okay, they're not right, and yes, okay, we're going to step in and explain and help them not repeat that behavior, but it's completely developmentally appropriate for those things to take place. Because
sometimes I think we respond because we think they're choosing to do that, but they're not choosing. It's as you said, a neurological skill, not that they need to develop, not a moral choice. It's not about morals here.
Yeah, and I think it's our egos that respond, because we're like, oh my gosh, that's my child. How can they do that? Like, that's going to look terrible. Like, it's us that have the problem, not so much them behaving in a problematic way.
So how do we support that though, through the different ages? What do we need to do?
So I have this, which I wish could be something that everybody does, is speaking through thought processes. So I believe it's so important to explain what you want your child to think. Explain that to them. Narrate how, like, the thought process you want them to make while they're doing something, or while there's something happening or an action taking place. I think we don't do that enough, because we think, oh my gosh, they're 2. Like,
We do underestimate just how clever they are.
But the more you do that, it's like learning red car. The more you explain these things to them, and the more you talk through these things, there's so much power in that, providing them with the thought processes. That's going to help them develop those thought processes. We just assume that they're going to go from not having the thought process to having it. And some children develop that through, like, observation, or, you know, they just incidentally learn it because they see it enough. But a lot of the time that doesn't happen. A lot of the time, it takes longer. So we react to an action, and we haven't actually given them an alternate.
So if your child was to hit someone, what would your suggestion be for how to manage that, how to make the most out of that situation?
I've got this issue right now, so I'm listening very attentively, because my son will hit his sister in the face if she gets a fling out of the packet. Like, he's very territorial. I don't know if that's the word, but he's come to, like, actually, like, pushing or, like, hitting his sister out of frustration. Tell me how to fix it. Do I fix it? Do I ride the wave? Like, how do I?
So obviously you can't let that happen.
No.
Yes. So we got to.
But I also don't want to resort to shouting, because that's what I want to do.
So when there's an incident like that in our home, and it's usually the younger one that's.
Oh, is Blair going to come back for vengeance?
It's usually the younger one in my home that's a bit more feisty. So I have to take her away. I first remove the threat. So like I can't let you hurt your sister. So we're going to remove you. So as fast as I can get, because the older one will just sit there very calmly and allow it to happen and say, Mom. I'm like, you can push her away. That's self-defense. Like, I'm not encouraging you to hurt her, but you can stop her from doing it. Anyway, so I'll just take her away. And then, I can't let you hurt her. But then I feel like the teaching doesn't happen in that moment.
Okay.
I feel like the teaching happens after or before or in all the other moments, right? I mean, in that moment, then we've got emotions. We've got one child that's probably crying. We've got one child that's now being pulled away, maybe going to start to cry. So there's like a lot. So you've set your boundary. I can't let that happen. But then the work is going to happen in play. So we play Barbies quite a lot. We play dolls quite a lot. Okay. Even if I see them, if I'm playing with them and I see something I like and I say, oh, I really like that. Should I snatch it? Like that kind of thing. And then Katie says, no, Mom, you're not allowed to snatch.
Like let them make the decision.
Yes. Or speak through what I think they would be thinking, like, oh, that would be fun. Oh, that looks like a yummy cake. I'm going to snatch it from you. And then Katie says, no, you're not allowed to snatch. And then I'm like, yes, I'm not allowed to snatch. What could I do instead? So like I said, thought processes, speaking through the thought processes outside of the situation.
Allowing them to ask themselves in that moment that it comes, like, what should I do in this? That's okay.
So Tana isn't yet able, I mean, she's not even 2 yet. So she's not really able to make those decisions for herself yet, even when we're talking about it. But hearing the dialogue and hearing the thought process will eventually...
The dots will connect.
It will.
Yeah. And she learns from her sister.
It will. Well, she hasn't learned to do a few things that she does do from her sister. That's intuitive.
Yeah. But we don't punish them, right, for behavior that is merely just a lack of impulse control.
I mean, punishment's a big word.
This is a big one, yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't like punishment in general for anything. Natural consequences are a win for me. So in that situation, say they're jumping on the trampoline, something happens, I have to take the one aside. You get a warning. So I can't let you do that. I'm going to let you carry on jumping. If I see that happen again, you're going to have to come inside with me and sit with me because this is not safe. Yeah. I can't let you hurt someone. Yeah. If it happens again, you get off the trampoline and you have to come and sit with me.
Stick to your word.
Yes. But I love the shift from punishment to consequence. I love that.
Yeah.
Because punishment that's such a negative, heavy.
It is negative.
Connotation.
You've done something bad. Now I'm going to do something bad to you to teach you a lesson.
Yes.
But consequence is I can't allow this to happen. I need to teach you teaching. I need to teach you that this is not appropriate behavior.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you out of this situation because you can't help yourself. So I'm going to move you away.
Oh, that is so nice.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's
I need to play this podcast. When it releases, I need to play it over. That's just that part.
Right.
Over and over and over again.
But I think it's also just like a societal shift as well because, I mean, we grew up, okay, I'm older than you guys, but like in that.
You don't look it. Don't look a day over 27.
Oh, keep going. But we grew up with that. It's punishment, not consequences.
Yes.
Like that. So it takes a lot of work to shift your mind from how you were raised and how you were brought up and the experience.
But from experience, it also makes you quite scared to mess up.
Yes.
It makes you scared to make a mistake. Like maybe, you push your sister as a mistake or an impulse and you immediately know that it was wrong and then you get the punishment for it rather than a teaching. I feel like it does have a negative,
it does, yeah.
like a domino effect on how you perceive making a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big one.
And I think it also then encourages behaviors like lying and hiding things from our parents because we're worried about what they're gonna and
what the punishment
will be. But if there's a consequence and you're doing it out of love because they know that your end result is that you want to help them grow. You want to help them be better. I mean, we speak all the time about, like, if you do that, someone's going to choose not to play with you.
Yeah.
And that's not going to make you feel very good. So we got to learn how to play with people so that everybody's feeling comfortable and everyone's feeling safe. We want people to feel safe around us. So like that's helping as opposed to the alternative.
Yeah. But now our perspective in this, because I think also now you would catch your child pushing your other child or hitting or whatever the case may be, and you know a lot of people would automatically go like, oh my gosh, this child's just being so defiant, or why do they have to be so difficult, because like they're doing this again. So it's about shifting our perspective and going, you know, they are struggling with something or they are dysregulated, and once we can make that shift, we can then deal with it in a lot more regulated ourselves, I guess, more compassionate.
Yeah, and even, I mean, so Tana is feisty, and I often have to like look at myself and say, why is she more feisty than Callie? It's because she's always had to fight for her attention. I mean, I not in they both get a lot of attention, but she's always had to share her attention. Yeah. So if
she was born into sharing.
If I see this behavior popping up more often, I know she needs more of me. Yeah. That's all it is. Children are fighting for their caregivers' attention. So also out of frustration and those kind of things. But if I know if I pour more into her, the behavior is going to get less and less. That's
But your perspective on that is closing the gap between the behavior and the meaning of the behavior, just by having that awareness of what's going on. Getting curious.
Yeah. Figuring out why you're seeing what you're seeing and what you can do to support it.
I want to ask a personal question. Feel free to not go there, but how did you get to this point where you are just so conscious about everything that you do?
I don't know. Sure. I say to everyone I had like an amazing childhood. So like my mom was a great mom, hands-on, like, you know, we did all the magical things that you can imagine. And so I knew that was vital. Like I can remember how amazing all of those things were. But also my parents separated when I was 12. My mom went to live somewhere else. So we stayed with my dad. Okay. So she made, I don't want to say like she chose someone else instead of us, but she did, you know, and to a 12-year-old, like that is what you're going to believe. So also I know the impact that motherhood and the decisions you make as a mom has on a child. I'm not like damaged because of it, because I've chosen to work through that. And so I'm not saying that as like a victim mentality, but as an awareness. Like I have a deep understanding of how my choices will forever impact my children. Forever. So
it's incredibly, thank you for sharing that with us. Because I think a lot of people look and they look at you and it's you've got everything together and it looks so perfect, it looks seamless, it looks effortless. But to hear that backstory really is
like you've put in the work to, you know.
And I don't talk about it a lot because I think automatically I think victim, like, you know, like I don't want people to think that I feel like I've been hard done by it all, because I don't. I mean, that was my life. I'm so grateful for the lessons it gave me, because I might not be the person I am today.
But then you've always had this perspective.
I don't think when I was in it, I don't think when I was in it,
it stings.
Yes.
But for you to have done the work to, after that, have this perspective on always positivity, finding the positive in then that carries through into your motherhood. Contentment.
I think that's the big one. I mean, I even look at my husband and I, like, we can really go at each other sometimes. Like we can irritate each other. Like he's Greek. I mean, he's got the Mediterranean blood in his system. So like
Italian over here.
Yeah, we can argue. Like we're not always, you know, on the same page. We're not scared of like opposing each other. Like,
well, no, you can't be.
No, so
you have to have a box every now and then. It's good for you.
Yeah. But we're married, and you know, sometimes we can go a week with like really not enjoying each other's company. But we've made a choice and we're going to work towards that. And I know that that's his intention, and I know that that's my intention. And it's not a fairy tale, but it is.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
That's just the way
But if you sat and you focused solely on, oh, you know, we're not getting along today, and today's just such a crap day, and, you know, the kids are not in a good mood, you know, it kind of follows you to the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. But if you rather, like you say, shift your perspective on everything, not even like your children, on your whole day, it does follow through to the next and the next and the next.
And your life.
And your whole life,
Your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, this is your whole life right here. So you can choose what you want to do with it.
Exactly.
Sure. But just like that, I think everything you said there just hit really deeply as well. I'm just considering like my own choices that I make when it comes to my kids and how that will be carried through for the rest of their lives. You know, yes, not the snap decisions on the fly, like whether you're having pizza or hot dogs for lunch, whatever. But the big things, they do carry weight, you know?
Is that expression, especially about, you know, dealing with, you know, if there is any childhood trauma in your life, dealing with it, the expression goes, face your demons or they'll raise your children. And I think that definitely applies here.
Yeah. Accountability again.
And again, I don't think you have to have faced them. I mean, the moment I became a mom, I was introduced to, you know, I had to unpack things that, I mean, I only then knew a mother's love when I became a mom. I had a perception of it. I tried to understand it, but you know, becoming a mom and seeing your little baby lying there, like, and just imagining not making her my first priority, that was a big moment for me, because I was like, jeepers, like, you will always, always be my priority. I can't imagine. And I think you maybe move further away from that, like, obsessive love as your children grow older. I think it's natural to like, but that initial firstborn like moment is huge.
You're like, I will take a bullet for you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But you often say in our conversations, you know, you put the girls first and you let them know that. But you still manage to strike the balance of being a confident, kind and firm leader in the household, but you put them first. Right.
But, you know, putting them first is saying no. Like, I am putting you first when it's really hard to say no. Like, I
don't want to say no to you,
it's
but
really easy to say yes, because then you stop moaning.
Yes.
It's hard for me to have to say no. Like, that's not the easy choice, but I'm putting you first. Like, big thing in our house as well is it's my job to keep you safe. Yes, and that can be the response a lot of times. Like, it's, you don't want to brush your teeth? Well, listen, it's my job to keep you safe. And having a healthy dental record is me keeping you safe. Like, this is a way that I'm keeping your body safe. So that's also an answer to a lot of our arguments, is that's my job.
I'm going to use that.
I love that.
My job to keep you safe, dude.
But shifting the lens on tough moments.
Yeah, I'm not here to, I'm helping you.
I'm not trying to be the bad guy.
This is my job, and I'm doing it because I love and care for you.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, they can both say, when I say it's my job to keep you, they both go, safe.
And then, especially with your firstborn, was it just a case of reiterating it over and over and over and over again until it's stuck?
Over and over and over.
So it is going to be over and over. Just repeat, and it
all those thought processes. And she has them now by herself. She has better. She's had better ones. She's had better thought processes. She's putting things together that I haven't exactly step by step, like word for word, told her. She puts them together by herself, because she knows how to think. She knows how to reason. She knows how to justify things. So that's really important.
It's nice to hear that it's not overnight.
No, I mean, otherwise Tana would be able to do the exact same things that Kelly can do.
She's younger.
She's younger and she hasn't yet mastered those skills. So I can see the end product. I mean, and that's not even the end product. She's 4. But I can see
where she'll get
progress. In just that consistency.
And do you think it's confusing if, say, for example, I were to start, you know, doing these sorts of things in my household, like it's my job to keep you safe and trying to like shift the narrative. Do you think it would be confusing at first, or it would stick nicely in the beginning just roll with it from then on?
So because I know
there's a lot of people
want to feel safe. They want a confident leader.
Yeah.
So if you're telling them that that's what you're doing, that's how you're showing up.
Yeah.
It's going to, I mean, they're not going to laugh at you.
No. Yeah. No, because I
Sometimes
know
we
that
feel
there's going to be quite a few people who are listening who don't do that, who want to.
Yeah.
You know, and they're afraid of like maybe it
Has the ship sailed?
Yeah. Is it too late? Would they be like, who are you and what have you done with my mother?
I think that if your children are like a lot older,
Perhaps, yeah.
you have to have a conversation with them about it. Like, these are the mistakes that I think I've made. This is how our life is looking. I don't really want it to look that way.
No.
Yeah.
So this is where I want us to be. I've done this and this and this to contribute to where we are right now. But these are the steps I'm going to put in place to get us to where I want to be.
Right.
We're going to work as a team. We're going to work together. So I don't think it's ever too late, but you have to be willing to work together.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to say, you know what, I didn't show up the way I knew. I didn't know then what I know now, and now I want to change.
But now I'm going to change. Yeah.
But it's
I like
exactly
that.
it's the conversation I've had with my boys as well. I don't quite like this current climate where we're at. And again, it's just about having they're 11.
Yeah,
so I
so
can
they
have
get
these
it.
conversations
Yeah.
with them. And yes, there's a little bit of a, mom,
Yeah.
mom and your counselor stuff. But they enjoy it. Once they start to feel it and see it, like the benefits of it, they like it.
Yeah.
They want to.
And then that positive praise, or just noting the positivity when they're doing things the way that you had agreed on. So even with like the little ones, like, oh, I saw you were frustrated there and you didn't pull your sister's hair. Like, that's really great. Like, I saw you rather shouted or like, you rather called me, or you rather made another plan. You guys swapped. So just being aware of catching the good and praising the good, because so often we're so wired to responding to the negative that we forget to praise the good.
Yes.
And so that behavior we see less and less of, and we just see more and more of the behavior that gets a reaction.
And it is practice.
It is.
Like, what's that whole thing where they say, how many red cars did you see on the road today? You don't know because you weren't looking for red cars. But if you look for red cars, you'll find a few.
The moment you're going to buy a Haval.
Yes. All you see are Havals. That's exactly what happens.
Right.
So if you are consciously looking for the good, you're only going to see the good.
But I think the same, we're talking about our children, like to see the good in our children and not always, focus on the negative or the difficult things. But I think we need to do that in ourselves as well. It's actually take stock of all the good and positive ways we do show up and are able to show up. But it's human nature, right? We go to bed at night and we hone in on all the negative things, like, oh, I failed here and I did.
Should have done this differently. I actually had a day like that on Saturday. Where I was
Did you?
Like, I feel like such a failure. I raised my voice today. I feel like such a failure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's difficult. But proud, took accountability. The next day I apologized to my son.
Yeah. And that's all that we can do. And I'm not saying that you're not gonna see the things that you would like to do differently, but to perhaps not have such a negative conversation with yourself about it. Just like, that was hard.
Yeah.
That was a hard day.
But
I was
I'm
overstimulated.
allowed to have a hard day. Yeah.
That was a hard day.
Yeah.
Not like attack yourself for having a hard day. Like, that was a hard day. What could I do tomorrow to maybe like put some things in place that we don't end up in the same position?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something that you speak to yourself badly about. I think that's the only way to put it. You don't have to have negative conversations with yourself about things that don't go according to plan, or about times that you don't show up in the way that you know is best, or the way you feel is best.
Can we talk about toxic positivity here? Because
Let's do it.
let's talk about that, because now maybe some people would listen to this and say that what we're saying is toxic positivity.
Sorry, what?
So I actually got a DM when Kelly was in ICU when she was born. She was prem, she was in ICU, and I was I would be damned if my experience of having a daughter, my first child, was going to be awful. Like, that was just not going to be the only. Yes, there were really crappy moments.
Yeah, for sure.
It was hard, and there were really awful moments.
Yeah.
But I also made sure that there were really great ones along the way as well. And she was in hospital for a month, and I have really fond memories within that month as well. Yeah. And someone then said to me, do you not think this is a bit toxic? And I was like, in what? Like,
that word is just, it's so.
In what world is positivity toxic? How have we coined this even a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I don't know the research around it.
I think it's probably her considering other people's NICU experience being terrible and you going, mine was great. Like, that's not what it is.
And not once have I said my whole experience was great.
Exactly.
And I don't undermine. I mean, I think that is one of the worst experiences you can go through as a parent.
Sure. Yeah.
Every time I see someone going through that, my heart aches for them, because I'm like, it's so unnatural. It's so hard. It really is. It's awful.
Yeah.
But it was my life. And like, I could choose to like have a really bad memory of that whole month, or I could have done what I did. And like, I have really happy photos of me pumping in her bedroom with a glass of wine and a pizza and having a good moment. Like, we went out for lunches. Like, I baked cookies, you know, like I did stuff to make sure that I have really great memories around that time as well. And I think, and I always go back to that. Like, that was a hard time. No one can take that away.
Yeah.
But it was great as well.
I also want to pose this. Your child sits down with you. I want a bedtime story. Tell me about the day I was born. What are you going to tell them? That it was so crap. You know, what are you going to tell your child?
So, I mean, so I actually wrote a book for Kelly when I was pregnant with Tanner, about what was going to happen so that she could prepare herself. Yeah. So I also, in that book, put that there could be the possibility that the baby might not be strong enough to come home straight away. So then the baby will have to stay at the hospital a bit longer. Maybe mommy will have to be in the hospital a bit longer. Like, I put all of that in there because, thank goodness, because it did happen, so that she knew. And then I also explained to her like what happened. And I don't think I'll ever tell her that it was the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell her it was the best day.
Yeah. Yeah. But you would also then focus on more of what was so great about her.
It gave me her.
Yeah.
And she actually came to me a few weeks ago. It was about a month ago. She asked me if it was very sore. So I said, what was very sore? And she's like, the cut that they gave you on your tummy, was that sore? So she had been thinking about something that brought her back to that moment. She actually like worries about like those kinds of things.
Very empathetic.
Very empathetic. And then I had to explain to her, and I didn't say, no, it wasn't sore. I said, when they gave me the cut, it wasn't sore. Yeah. But it was sore when it was getting better. And she said, I had one of those on my knee.
There we go. She knows that it does get sore.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm never going to lie to her. And as she gets older, we'll talk about it, because I don't know, maybe it'll happen to her. I hope not. But, you know, I will talk to her about it. And she knows she was in the NICU. She knows she was without me. She gets actually quite emotional when we talk about it, which I think is, it's so important that we do talk about it, because she's obviously got some, I do believe that they hold some of that inside of them.
They do.
And I think speaking about it, and I get emotional sometimes, but it's I think it's really important to speak to our children about those things as well. Yeah. So I don't know how we completely,
got there. But I'm still trying to process how people think it's toxic to try and focus on
being positive.
But even the word toxic, trying to be positive. I mean, I suppose I could see if somebody was still battling internally with a trauma associated with the topic at hand, they may consider it like you're, not thinking of all angles, or maybe you're undermining my experience.
So I think
that's probably
the toxic positivity, if you want to call it that, could come into play if you're saying, I had such a hard experience, and I was saying, "Oh, just shine up," you know.
Yeah.
When you
Like,
dismiss the
then
other
that's-
if
person.
I'm
that's
putting it
it,
on
yeah.
you that you need to get over something, that's maybe
toxic.
But
if you're talking about your own,
if I'm having a hard time and I'm saying, but you know what? I got a free bottle at Woolies today.
yeah,
You know, so there
What
was
a
something
great
good
deal.
there was something good that happened, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's to just explain it like that. It's like you can't call it toxic positivity if I'm
you're
not
choosing
telling
it
you what to
yourself.
do.
Yeah.
Like that. But another thing that we spoke about as well is the word sacrifice, and I think that comes up a lot. A lot of moms say, like, it's this ultimate sacrifice in motherhood, but sacrifice also has a negative connotation to it, right? And what we were discussing is that how many people in our generation end up getting divorced because it's just so hard, and they've had to give up themselves and
Like they put their children first entirely on every aspect.
So the whole aspect of losing yourself in motherhood, like, how do you think that ties back to our perspective on our motherhood journeys?
So I think our generation was raised by a lot of stay-at-home moms. I think we were maybe the last generation of like a lot of stay-at-home moms. So I think it was the majority of moms didn't work in our day. But that's definitely shifted. I mean, we can even see in the schools year by year the dual income household increases. So I think that's been even ingrained into us from their perspective, is that that's all they were.
That's not all they were.
And I mean, even if I have to, and I'm not putting words in her mouth, and this is just my perception of her experience of like my mom's experience of motherhood, I feel like she does feel like she gave up too much, or she did at a time, and she wanted to, take ownership and do something drastic to feel herself again. And made choices accordingly, but it's because she felt like she had no choice. That was just the way of her life. So I feel like we just perceive, just from their experiences, of a whole generation of women who that's all they were. We perceive it as a sacrifice rather than an honor.
A privilege.
And a privilege. And I've said to you a few times, I don't know if this is just my perspective, because I'm not just a mom. Like, I do work as well. Like I do have that as well. But I could easily give that up if I needed to. Like I wouldn't even think twice about it. If I needed to for my children, I could give that up in a heartbeat. And I make choices every single day. That means I'm going to earn less money, or I'm going to not have the nice thing. I'd rather buy the blueberries.
Berries, guys.
Or even a toy. Like I'd rather buy and I don't feel it as a sacrifice at all. It's a choice that I'm making. And I know that life's going to shift. They're not always going to be they'll always be a priority for me, but they're not always going to take so much of what I have.
That makes sense.
And one day I'll be getting my nails done, and I'll, look back at this time with tears in my eyes
and want it all back.
So it's okay that I don't get them done right now.
Do you still manage to connect with yourself, though, in the busyness of your life?
Sometimes I think there's something wrong with me. I really don't feel like I only feel like I'm gaining. Like, I really don't feel like I'm losing myself. And sometimes I feel overstimulated, and sometimes I feel like at the end of my tether. Like, I'm not saying I don't feel those moments. I don't feel like I've lost any part of me, though. I feel like I've only gotten better at being me. Like, I've only grown more and explored myself more and held myself more accountable. And how could I ever wish different?
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I've lost myself at all. I've lost things, like I've lost a lifestyle.
Yes. Yeah.
Lost. My life has changed. But it's also, again, how you choose to perceive it. Like I could pine over days that were, but I'd much rather live in the days that are. They just, I do feel like they're magical. So I'm grateful for that.
I think that's so beautiful. The days that are, right?
And then you'll go to the days that will be.
Yes.
And that's going to look completely different as well. And so we'll never have what we have now ever again. And then tomorrow we'll never have that ever again. And bedtime.
It's so beautiful what you're saying. And yeah, it's beautiful. It really is. And I wish more of us had that mindset. Yeah. It just seems to come so easily for you.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. But I think because it's, I've maybe trained myself to feel that way. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's so hard because I don't want to say like it's easy. But I mean, I would rather be here than anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with a small world.
Yes. Yeah.
My husband's the dreamer, but like, I'm like, this is all I need. And keep it small. Keep it easy, I don't need much more than this.
Going back to basics, keeping things simple and really just being like grounded in all of that love and connection.
And that's where social media can like get you like so like caught up. And I did for Callie, I bought things that I shouldn't have bought.
Yeah.
Because I was, okay, this is what you got to do. Like these are the things that you need. Like it's all got to look so good. And you get caught up and only in doing it do you realize this stuff really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, really doesn't matter.
But now you touched on social media, so let's get into the digital diaries that we are creating for our children, which is just, I mean, we're all doing it.
Probably, it's all out there.
Yeah.
It's already out there and it's always going to be out there.
Yes, yeah. So if you can talk us through your thoughts on that and what we are doing currently.
Oh, well, we're leaving evidence of our lives for our children to go back and view. So,
which is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's great.
It's beautiful. But so we all want our children to have a magical childhood, especially when they're so little. How can you convince them of that when you have a whole trail of evidence that speaks otherwise, that speaks about how irritating you found them or how, and this all sounds very harsh, but we do say it like, it's not, might not be so blunt when we're saying it, but it's there. There's a lot of it out there, complaining almost. That's like that negative chatter about kids doing this and kids doing that. And I'm not saying they don't do it, and I'm not saying it's not hard, but leaving that trail behind for them to go back and look at, and then you've forgotten all of that.
Yeah.
By the time you're 65,
you want to go back. You want to go back to that
because you remember how magical it was, and they're like, well, actually, you're telling me this, and but yeah, you said that, so like this doesn't quite add up. So we just got to be really mindful of what we're leaving behind. And I've got a little book that I write in of the things that I struggle with as a mom when I am lucky enough to hold my girls through that transition, because I want to be there for them. So I'm not saying don't tell them that things weren't hard, but it's the way you give them that information. So I've got a book.
Because they need it in that moment. They don't need it when they're 23 and just like going back in time.
And going through like a really hard time, or maybe they're fighting with you, or maybe your relationship's like a bit rocky because they've got a boyfriend that you're not so fond of, and they need ammunition, or, relationships are tough. Like relationships with your adult children are hard. Don't give them ammo to, and not even ammo, but they might not have the understanding yet.
They also don't have the context.
Yes.
It's all like what social media is, like 10 minutes of your day.
Yes.
They don't have the context, but they don't need it in that moment. All they see is what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And it'll sting sometimes.
And it might change their perspective of, they might not have had those thoughts beforehand, and then see how you perceived their childhood, and it might change their whole perception of their childhood. So I know I had a great childhood. I know that. I mean, there's evidence of that. There's photos. I know that it was amazing. But in hearing my mom having made like so much of a sacrifice for us, and that she was so unhappy for a large portion of that, I don't know. I mean, I can't speak for her again, but like knowing that there was all of that unhappiness, or, you know, that she wasn't really feeling like she was living her true self, or makes me believe that it actually, how could it have been so magical if, you know, if it wasn't? You know, it kind of feels like there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
So from first-hand experience, and that's not with a digital diary, I can say that it definitely does. And I'm sure there are other people in the same situation as me that could resonate with that. It changes how you perceived things to have happened, because it's just not the way that you remember.
Exactly, yeah. And that's just, you know, venting online without reflecting on this is big.
Yeah.
Okay. You've given us a lot to think about here, Rach.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Or also just like, how do you want other people to see your children?
Yes, yeah.
Because what you're constantly saying about them, you haven't even given them the opportunity to make a first impression.
Yeah. Actually, you said that in one of our meetings once, and you were like, when people talk to you about their children, you haven't had the opportunity to meet them. You're already forming this picture in your mind.
You do.
Well,
but also, can you imagine if everything you said about your kids was written down, and they got to open that piece of paper on their 18th birthday? About all the things you told people about them.
Yeah.
And what bothers me the most is when people say things that are negative about their kids when they're right there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
See, and some things that happen in our home, I don't even relay the information to Julian, because I know he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
And he might perceive the situation differently, and he might interpret it differently. And some of the stuff he just doesn't need to know if it's, you know, if it's going to be hard. I don't know.
But also
some
you've
of the
moved
stuff,
on from it.
some of the stuff he just really doesn't need to even, you know, so I'm very cautious of what I speak about my children and over my children and to my children.
And but again, it's work.
What we
Being
believe
conscious.
and speak comes to fruition.
Yeah. True. And now I know that there was another question that people asked us about, which is kind of going to be like a little addition here to everything that we've spoken about, but circling back to our children's behavior. Can we touch on the difference between a tantrum and a meltdown?
Yes, because
Please.
I hear people using the word meltdown often. A melty.
A mentee
A mentee or a melty. And I just feel like when you say that, it's like hands in the air. I've got no control over this situation. You know, they're just having a meltdown, because a meltdown is that reaction to a sensory overload. So it's either too much noise, they can't handle their bodies in the moment, and they've lost control of themselves.
Yeah.
So they need you to step in there and go as quiet as possible, say as little as possible, and do as little as possible, and reduce as many senses as possible.
Yes, yeah.
So if you're doing that when your child's throwing a tantrum, you're basically saying, let's carry on with this behavior, because you're not putting in the boundary that needs to be put in place. So a boundary is, a tantrum is gold driven. So they want something from you.
So they're going to be like, oh, I can throw a tantrum now because my mom's going to give me
It's a
cuddles.
result of a frustration or a disappointment. And it's to try and get what they want. So they have a little bit of control over what they're doing.
Yeah.
And there you need to step in and put the boundary back in place. Acknowledge the emotions and put the boundary back in place.
Do you have a tip? I know you do.
Of course she does.
Yeah. So I know when we first chatted, you guys were like, so you're quite hard. Like you thought I was maybe a bit softer than I am with my girls.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not soft, but I am
firm.
I am extremely firm. I learned that from working though. I mean, boundaries are my best friend,
Yeah.
no matter what situation I'm in. So I don't mind if you cry. It doesn't irk me in the least because that's a you thing, not a me thing.
That looks like a you problem.
So I always, Callie's the good example because she's gotten a bit older now, so she knows what she's doing. But I'll always say, I understand that it's frustrating. I do. I get it. It's nice to have what we want. I get irritated too when I want something that I can't have, but I don't always get what I want either. So I'm able to have that reflection with her. And then I say to her, and you know what? Crying about it is not going to make me change my mind. If you feel like you need to cry, you can continue to cry, but it's not going to make me decide that you now need what you want.
Yeah.
So I'm not changing my mind. If she carries on crying, I leave her for a few minutes and then I just remind her, I know you're frustrated. I can see you frustrated. I know it's hard. Crying about it isn't going to make me change my mind. Would you like to have this instead? Would you like to come and do this with me? So I don't automatically either take her out of how she's feeling.
Like, let her feel what she's feeling.
Yeah.
Like, let her have the moment. It's cool.
And I also don't want her to think that I'm just like, I'm stressed because she's crying and I need to make her happy. Like, it's okay to be unhappy.
It's okay.
That's what I do. I just quickly want to just like change the mood.
You want to fix it. Change the mood. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's supposed, I don't want her to feel like she always has to be happy.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for me as well. Like, be unhappy, be sad. Life can frustrate you, but it's not going to get you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And
because my job is to keep you safe.
My
and
job
I've made
is
this
to
decision.
yes.
For.
So you want a sweet? That's cool. We're going to eat supper
First.
We're going to eat supper. Not even then. You might not have a sweet then. Let's see how your body is feeling. You've had 5 sweets today. Your body doesn't need another sweet. Your body needs some good, nutritious food. Yeah. So we've had, all of those conversations have come before.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that all of the information you want them to know, you having those conversations.
You're setting the scene.
You can't just then say to them like that's the first time they've heard like about nutritional, the nutritional value of food, and you expect them to understand. But if every day you're talking about how this food's going to do this to you and this food's going to do that to you, and sweets give you a lot of energy, but it lasts for a really short amount of time, and I need you to have food that's going to last a long time. So she already has that ammunition in her mind. So when I give her those responses, it's a lot easier for her to understand because she's got a point of reference.
Yeah.
We can't expect our kids to understand why we're saying no if we haven't given them a point of reference. So that's so important. And that comes down to, again, like just explain
every day.
The thought process. Just explain why you are doing the things you're doing. You're not answering to them, but you're giving them this like underlying understanding of how life works.
And then a meltdown is a lot gentler.
Yes, a lot gentler. You're not going to, there's no boundary to hold with a meltdown. They're not trying to get anything. Yeah. So, and seeing a child having a meltdown is hard.
It's very hard,
It's, I feel differently when my child's having a meltdown to when they're throwing a tantrum. I feel nothing for a tantrum. A meltdown, it's hard for me to see that because I can see you don't know what to do.
But also they don't listen. They can't listen. Their brains have literally shut down in that moment. So what is a tip that you can give everybody listening in a moment of a meltdown? What's the best thing to do?
They need you. I think
be there.
They need you. Safety. I think that's like the top thing. So take them out of a situation that's perhaps unsafe if they are in one, and keep yourself safe. Like if they're kicking and screaming and punching, like you're not going to say, okay, it's okay for them to punch me now because they're having a meltdown. You're going to keep yourself at a safe distance, but you're going to, they need to know that you're there and reduce as much as you can.
Okay. Like, reduce the noise, reduce the distractions.
Even if you can, the light, like think about all the senses, take away as much as you can from each of their senses.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
But without a doubt, guys, I think what we've summed up today is that motherhood is complex. It's complicated. It can be messy, but it's your experience. And the most powerful thing that you can do with your motherhood experience is learn how to change your perspective, learn how to change the lens that you view your motherhood journey through. The next time that you feel stuck in a moment, you're feeling unsure, just pause, take a deep breath and ask yourself, how can I see this moment differently? How can I show up differently in this moment? And how can I be there differently for my child? That's where the true power lies. So thank you for being here today, Rachel. Really do appreciate it. Your words of wisdom are always so inspiring. So thank you for that.
And like I said in the beginning, it's not, don't listen to one podcast and think that like that's what you need to do. But also the things I'm saying is not just stuff that I've made up. Like I do my research. I am a professional in the sphere of child development. It's my duty to understand how children develop and what's best for children. Not always in the parenting space, but just overall, we want what's best for kids. And that's what's going to change the world.
We love you.
Episode 3?
You just tell me when. I'll yap away.
So thank you for being here today. Thank you guys for being here today. Keep showing up for your kids. Keep showing up for yourselves, even in those difficult moments. This journey is yours to shape. Peace.
Bye.